Hi everyone and welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Tash and I am the owner of the sewing pattern brand NH Patterns, and today I'm going to be showing you how to sew the Sarah skirt. The Sarah skirt is a high-waisted midi length skirt with a front leg split. It has an invisible zipper at the side seam to fasten. I've been working on extending the size range of this pattern, so it is currently available in a UK size of 4 to 18 and is currently being tested in UK sizes 20 to 32. If you'd like to know when the extended size range has been released, then please do follow me on Instagram at NH Patterns or sign up to my newsletter. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. I think that's all you need to know for now, so let's get sewing. To make the Sarah skirt, you will need your main fabric, a 9-inch or 23cm invisible zipper, and some lightweight fusible interfacing. You will need to cut out one waistband piece, cut on the fold, a back skirt piece also cut on the fold with your dart points marked, a pair of front side panel pieces with a pair meaning 2 mirrored pieces, and lastly a front centre piece also cut on fold. Don't forget to cut your notches on the front centre and side panels. This is important for creating your split leg. To start putting this skirt together, we first need to apply our fusible interfacing to the wrong side of the waistband. To do this, place the side of the fusible interfacing with the glue dots onto the wrong side of the waistband, place a piece of scrap fabric over the top and press down firmly with your iron. When moving, lift your iron and press again, and try not to drag the iron or you may move your interfacing. Put your waistband aside for the moment and move on to your front centre and front side panels. We will be using an open seam to join these pieces together, so first need to overlock or neaten our edges. If you don't have an overlocker, that's not a problem. You could neaten your edges with a zigzag stitch instead. When overlocking, you'll be overlocking both sides of the centre panel and the edges of the side panels that are marked with a notch. Now the edges are neatened, we can go ahead and move on to sewing them together. Lay your left side panel, left as worn, onto your centre panel with right sides facing, matching up the overlocked edge and notches. If you have your pieces laid out the same as me, it will be the side panel on the right that you'll be placing onto the centre as shown here. Once you've got it in place, pin together down to the notch. Then sew from the top of the skirt to the notch, making sure to stop here and backstitch a few times to secure. Next, we need to sew our right side panel, right as worn, onto our centre panel, again with right sides facing, matching up the overlocked edges and notches. However, this time we won't be stopping at the notch and we will be pinning and sewing all the way down to the hem. Now the front pieces are all sewn together, press your seams open. On your right side you'll be able to press the seam all the way, but when pressing the left side you will need to press the seam open down to the notch and then manually press the seam allowance by 1 cm the rest of the way to the hem. We will be sewing the split in place with a seam allowance slightly smaller than 1 cm. So from the top of your split, mark the point where you will pivot and sew along the top of the split at just under 1 cm. Then, starting from one side of the split, sew all the way up, pivot at the top point you marked, then sew all the way back down the other side until you reach the bottom of the other side of the split. Put your front skirt aside for the moment while we move on to the back skirt. Start by sewing your darts. To do this, fold your fabric with right sides together, matching up your dart notches, then pin in place down to your dart point. Repeat this for your second dart. Then sew each dart starting from the top dart notches, sewing down to the dart point. When you get to the end, sew one stitch off the edge and leave a long tail thread instead of back stitching. Then tie off the threads in a double knot. This just gives a nice neat finish without creating too much bulk at the point. Press your darts towards your side seams. With right sides facing, place your front skirt onto your back skirt. Match up the right side of your front and back skirt right as worn at the side seams and pin together. The right side is the side that doesn't have the leg split. Sew from the top of the skirt all the way down to the hem with a 1.5cm seam allowance. Then overlock this seam to neaten and press towards the back of the skirt. Fold your waistband in half lengthways with wrong sides together and press into place. You will be making a nice crisp fold line here, as this will be our guide for the top edge of the waistband later on. Once you have pressed the waistband in half, open it back out and overlock only the top edge of the waistband. Lay your skirt out in front of you and pin the long raw edge of the waistband onto the skirt waist with right sides facing. Pin one end, then the other, and then evenly pin throughout. Sew your waistband onto your skirt using a 1cm seam allowance. Press this seam up towards the waistband, being careful not to press out the fold line we created before. Overlock your side seams to neaten the edges, starting at the top of the waistband and finishing at the hem. Make sure your waistband seam allowance stays pressed up towards the waistband while you do this. Now we'll get on to inserting the zipper, and we'll start with the front of your skirt. Place your skirt so that right side of the front is facing you. Unzip your zipper and place the right side of the zipper, the side that doesn't have the teeth, onto your skirt. Line up the top stopper of the zipper just below your fold line on your waistband and place the zipper teeth 1.5cm away from the edge of the skirt. Pin this in place and then change your machine foot to either an invisible zipper foot or a regular zipper foot. Then, starting at the fold line on your waistband, sew alongside the zipper teeth on the side with the zipper tape. Sew as far as you can until the zipper pull stops you, and make sure to move the pull out the way when sewing so you don't break your needle. Now fold your skirt so that the side seam of the back skirt and side seam of the front skirt are aligned next to each other, with the right side of the fabric facing you. Take the loose side of the zipper and place it with the right side facing the right side of the back skirt, being careful not to twist your zipper. Make sure that the top stopper is again placed just below the fold line, and make sure the zipper teeth are 1.5cm away from the edge of the skirt. Then sew along this side of the zipper. Zip up your zipper and then turn your skirt wrong side out. Match up the ends of your zipper stitching and pin together. Then switch back to a regular machine foot and starting just before the zipper stitching ends, sew the remainder of your side seam with a 1.5cm seam allowance. Press your side seam open and then make sure that everything looks nice and neat around your zipper. Make sure your skirt is turned right side out and then open up your zipper. Fold the excess zipper above the top stopper back on itself so that the top of the zipper now runs along the fold line we pressed. Then fold back your excess waistband on top of the zipper, making sure the folded edge runs neatly along the top, then pin in place. Change your machine foot to a one-sided zipper foot and sew alongside the zipper teeth again, making sure to sew on the side of the zipper teeth that is closest to the overlocked edge. You may not be able to reach all the way to the top due to the bulk of the zip, but just go as far as you can. I'd recommend using your hand wheel when you get to this point so you don't break your needle. Trim your corners and turn your waistband out to the right side. You should now have a nice sharp corner around the edge of the zipper. Making sure that your fold line runs nicely along the top of the waistband, fold your excess waistband to the inside of the skirt. Then pin in place the entire way around. You'll notice that the inside waistband will finish lower than the outside, covering our waistband seam. Once you have pinned all the way around, sew in place alongside the edge of the waistband seam. Your skirt is now almost finished, we just need to finish the hem. At this point you could try on the skirt and make sure the length is how you want it. Then overlock the entire hem, fold up by 1 cm and stitch into place. Give it one last press and then that's it, you're done! I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and don't forget to like and subscribe for more sewing tutorials and other sewing content. Thanks for watching!